Here in New York State, we have 3,300 megawatts of nuclear power facilities. That's spread across 3 power plants. We have the Ginna, 9 Mile Point, and Fitzpatrick Clean Energy Centers. Collectively, those units provide half of New York State's clean electricity. And in terms of the amount of homes that they provide electricity for, it's about 2.5 million homes plus or minus. These are homes, hospitals, businesses that we're providing clean electricity for here in New York. As America's #1 producer of carbon-free power, we employ that here in New York State as well. And we very much view it as a partnership with the state of New York to help them meet their climate objectives. What we've certainly seen since passage of that act in 2019 is these goals are really hard. And at the end of the day, you need all tools at your disposal to try and hit these targets. And a big piece of that are these upstate nuclear units. Again, not only are they economic engines for upstate New York, but again, they provide about half of the state's clean electricity. So we very much view it as a partnership with the state, as together we try to forge a path to hit the climate objectives of the state of New York.
The residents of Oswego are on board with nuclear power. I mean, one of the reasons is the fact that we've had 3 nuclear power plants in our backyard, you might say, for 6 decades. I mean, that's 2 generations. So we've had people living, going to school here, just living life here in the shadow of 3 nuclear power plants. And during that time, they've proven to be safe, reliable, and also make an impact on the economy. So as far as I know, there is nobody that here locally that is against it. I'm sure there might be some people, but if there is, I haven't heard from them.
They say it's a zero carbon technology. That's false completely. There's a carbon footprint associated with nuclear power, as there is with everything, with wind, with solar, with whatever you build, there's a carbon footprint associated with it. What is understated about nuclear is that the carbon footprint extends to mining of the uranium, and then milling it, and then enriching it, and transporting it, and getting it to the reactor, building the reactor, lots of concrete, lots of steel, and then ultimately waste disposal. And we don't even know what the carbon footprint is of disposal because we haven't figured that out. But there's certainly a carbon footprint associated with it. When you take a uranium atom and split it, you produce all this heat, which is great, but then you get these byproducts. And the byproducts are highly radioactive. And you get these, what they call the daughter products, which are fragments of the uranium nucleus. You also get plutonium. And that has a half-life of 24,000 years. And basically, you want to go through 10 half-lives to get down to a safe level. So you're looking at 250,000 years, which is far longer than civilization has been around for. So we are burdening future generations with this stuff.
Constellation views its contribution to the state's climate objectives is by providing the vast amount of clean energy that we currently provide. When you're coming here today, you probably saw the cooling tower outside of 9 Mile Point. Coming out of that cooling tower is in fact steam. So these resources are very much 100% carbon-free, and they produce a lot of megawatt hours, which just shows the vast amount of clean power that these resources can provide and what is desperately needed by the state of New York to hit the climate targets. The cheapest megawatts are the ones that we already have. So while we're looking to advance new forms of clean generation, renewables, advanced nuclear reactors, we need to make sure that we maintain the existing clean resources so that all additional megawatts are additive towards the effort as opposed to moving backwards. So we partnered with NYSERDA, together submitted an application to the DOE to hopefully garner a successful grant, which we then can file an early site permit, which are the early steps towards advancing a project here in Oswego.
Well, I was asked about a month ago before they made the announcement that they were looking to build a 4th modular nuclear power plant. So they asked me to send a letter of support for their application, and I was happy to do that. Again, we've seen that Constellation and those nuclear power plants are great neighbors, and we embrace the technology. We know it's safe. And having a 4th modular unit doesn't upset us. from the standpoint of having another one. And in reality, I've spoken to people who work out there and who actually built the place, and they said that there's plenty of land, there's plenty of infrastructure.
We should be looking at all the possibilities of how to supply. There's an electricity demand that we got to fill. Well, there's renewables. There's wind. There's land-based wind. There's offshore wind. There's solar. There's other technologies. There's hot geothermal, which I know they're looking at Cornell. There's even fossil fuels with carbon capture. What I say and what others in our consortium of environmental groups are saying is build renewables apace. Push that as much as you can. Put in battery storage. It's cheaper, it's faster, and it's just as reliable as, and perhaps more reliable than nuclear. It's not nearly as toxic. And it's far less expensive. And it's far more effective at reducing carbon emissions.
All clean generation types, again, have their strengths and weaknesses. Renewables are great in that they can harness the sun and the wind and water to produce electricity. However, sun doesn't shine 24 hours a day, the wind doesn't blow 24 hours a day. Nuclear power is the only power resource that's 100% clean and can run 24/7, 365.